Nobody move.
Nobody gets hurt.
I'm Nick G.
I'm Mike D.
And this is Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Pop McCann Whiskey, smoothest drink in the land. Grab your bottle today at popsmcannwhiskey.com. Also like to thank Friends of Martina White. Visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina has been doing as state representative of Pennsylvania. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond Creative. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com or call 267-362-WEB1 to discuss your project. And our title sponsor, AR Law, arjusticenow.com. We fight so you don't have to. Adams Renzi Law. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet. You get military and first responders discount. That is Morrow Flooring. You can go to goodcopbadcoppodcast.com. Click on his link for more details. All right, welcome back. Another great episode of Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'm Nick G.
I'm Mike D.
There you go. Not Nick D.
It's okay.
Loop, damn
It's
it.
okay.
I was waiting for it.
I know you were.
All right, well, we have a lot to talk about today. It's just us, no guests. Don't want to disappoint you guys.
Yeah. It's just, I think you'll find it interesting. We're going to get into the DOJ. The DOJ today,
Yeah, the DOJ.
And maybe some of the incidents where now they're not going to charge Adams with a crime. So that's Bondi.
All right, you know why that is.
Well, go ahead. Give me your thought.
My thought is Adams is cooperating. He knows where all the bodies are buried. And I believe he's singing like a canary. He's letting Trump know everything that they're up to. Letitia James, Hochul, all of them.
Okay, so
oh yeah, absolutely.
So I thought that briefly, and then so yeah, you know what? I just it flashed in me. I didn't give it a lot of thought because there's so much going on, and now that you mentioned that, maybe that's how the $59 million got discovered, or you think DOJ found it themselves?
DOJ found that themselves. Yeah, DOJ found that themselves. So if you don't know, old news by this point, I believe 4 people in USAID allocated funds when they're specifically told not to, following the Trump's. The Trump
from FEMA.
Yeah, FEMA. It was a FEMA. Yeah,
it was FEMA money.
So it's four employees from FEMA not following the Trump doctrine sent $59 million to like a hotel and illegals.
Roosevelt Hotel,
which is a nice hotel.
It was. I don't know.
$59 million.
Yeah,
it was. Now there's been a bunch of illegals living there.
Yeah.
So,
but they were paying $700 a night.
Yep. And they came in, they took that money back. And now I believe Letitia James or Hochul's suing to try to get that money back that they already took. I mean, it's insane, man. It's just nuts.
It's FEMA money. It belongs to emergency disasters, not aiding people that... Listen, let's be clear for the audience. I'm not against immigration. I'm not against what you call them aliens. I'm against illegal aliens, all right? And I'm not against them personally. I'm against the process. And because let's be honest, we've all had benefited in one way or another from people and their labors. Maybe we haven't really, because if we look at the debt, $200 billion they spent just in California alone, I think, on servicing illegal aliens. I could be off by the numbers.
There's a lot that goes into it. The education structure and education programs in every state, medical. It's really affecting this country in a big way.
Housing.
Yeah. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
It's a lot more to it than just the individual when you break it down to it. Yeah, I feel bad for people, but you knew what you're doing when you came here illegally. I met somebody who is a doctor, right, from Brazil. I met him and his wife the other day, and his daughter were here on vacation.
Right.
They love this country. USA, love it. And, I'm like, what do you do? I thought he was going to tell me he's a janitor. I'm a doctor. I'm a pediatrician. And they're like, we applied for citizenship. We got to wait 2 more years to pass this and blah, blah, blah. Years.
Yeah. It's average 7 to 10 years. Yeah.
Best. He's a pediatrician.
Right.
Wants to come to this country and loves this country. Meanwhile, I told him, I said, you should have just walked through the southern border. I said, you missed it by a month. He laughed. He goes, yeah, but I'm a pediatrician. We want to do things the right way.
Imagine that.
She was another kind of doctor, and the daughter was finishing up high school and wanted to go to University of Penn to become a physician.
Yeah, play volleyball.
Right?
Brazilian volleyball team. Is that what you?
Yeah, could have.
Could have, right? Yeah, right.
Could have. It's just, and then you come to this where people just come in illegally and they do what they want and they're a strain on our system. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And you just gave $59 million for people to stay in a hotel. Meanwhile, North Carolina, there's still people living in tents in the winter. Yeah, this
is the abhorrent
Maui, the Palisades of California.
Negative. This is why people are mad. You can't do this to people that don't belong. Listen, they're here. I don't want them in the street either. Sweating, dying, freezing to death. I don't want that for these people. If you want to pitch them a tent, give them a little gas heat, go right ahead. Because that's what they're doing to Americans that paid their taxes, that own property, that raised their kids here, that are here legitimately, that are part of us.
The atrocities that FEMA was doing, I will say atrocities, because if you talk to people on the ground, they were denying life-saving benefits to residents in this country, North Carolina. They were stopping people that created an airport. They were stopping supplies getting through. People were dying. Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact that the body count is well over 1,000. And officially, they didn't come out and tell us that just yet, but I know people down there reported truckloads of bodies that were being recovered. It's devastating down there.
The recent numbers I heard was about 110.
Yeah, it's more than that. It's way more than that.
Yeah,
and if you really look into it, you can go down there and find out. People are still living in tents. And now with the Palisades, these people are a lot. We're talking about rural America in North Carolina. The Palisades are millionaires. They'll figure it out, the most of them. A lot of them are wealthy middle class that are still going to have a hard time, but they're not living in tents.
I didn't see. I was just out in California. Okay, full exposure. I was just out in California. I was in West Hollywood, and my hotel was directly across from the burn line, where the burn ended. You could look out my hotel, look straight across to the mountains right in front of you. You're there.
Yeah.
The burn lines went this way, and the houses went this way. So it stopped right in front of my hotel. And to be honest with you, as an audience, and I didn't see anybody in the street.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking how many homes?
Yeah.
10,000 homes were burnt.
The whole city.
And if every home had just 2 people in it, that's 20,000 people displaced, which there's got to be a little bit more. But as it turns out, what I'm hearing, and you can check into this or not, many of those people had second homes.
Yeah, exactly. We're not talking about the North Carolina.
Right. But by the way, not all of them, because my lawyer had to move in with his son, but they at least could move in with their son. Okay? These people in North Carolina, everything was swiped out for miles in every direction.
Yep. Yeah. Whole towns. Whole towns, but they have nowhere else. That's it. Their cousin and uncle and brothers and sisters were in the same town. They're all
they're all gone. Yeah,
they weren't living together because it's poor America, and and we're giving these allocating resources to illegals. So that's touch on one bit of it, and then you can look at. I'll pull up the Dodge website. So they've canceled a couple contracts in just Department of Education, $889 million.
Is that for DEI?
Yeah, so EPA canceled 3 DEI contracts, saving taxpayers $45 million.
What does the EPA have to do? Why is that diversity and equity in
Department of Education
environmental?
Terminated grants to 4 equity assistance centers totaling $33 million to professional learning around critical race theory and racial literature.
Yeah, I'm hearing things like this, and let's just get off into the woods for a second. You're bringing these topics up. I'm hearing that many of these DEIs were set up. So I want to implement DEI, let's just say, in the Department of Education. And those, hold
on. Also today, the Department of Education terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million. $881 million. One contractor was paid $1.5 million and would want this job to observe mailing and clerical operations at a mail center. $1.5 million.
To observe.
He didn't work. He observed.
He observed. Yes.
He observed 1.5 million.
Yes. So my question is.
God, I missed my call. I should have got an
Wait. Slow down. Yeah. Right. That's my question. Is this, and this is what I want people to think about. Who got the contracts? So, for example,
I
got $891 million to DEI, the Department of Education. What does that mean? So people say, like, I'm implementing DEI. So somebody has to do the implementation.
So this
you get what I'm getting at?
We discussed this our last show together. Is the structure that was built over the years with Obama, and you touched on it. It was kind of constructed with the Bushes, and came up. It's a uniparty,
right?
But with Obama recently, this leftist pay system of indoctrinating not only all the bureaucrats, but the kids through the education center. It's a system of where they keep pumping money back into their bureaucracy of radical leftist ideas, the George Soros DAs. We gave George Soros DAs $59 million or $89 million.
And then they came back and took all our DA ships.
Yeah, they're destroying our country. So we pay, our federal government paid Soros to destroy our criminal justice system.
Right. So basically, it's not Soros's money that we're talking about our own money.
Yeah. It's just, he probably, listen, that guy is a billionaire for a reason. Because he knows how to make money.
He knows how to shift money around.
Yep, exactly. So this is a structure to where they can pay themselves, they can indoctrinate our kids and keep the money game going and stay in power.
So let me ask you this question.
Trump fucked everything up.
Yeah, I know. But let me ask you this question. Why would Obama's daughter get $2 million from USAID?
Was she on the list too?
She's on the list. She received $2 million. Now, maybe there's a reason for it. Can you tell me?
No, there's no reason.
Can you tell me why she got $2 million?
Remember Obama's shovel-ready jobs? This was another nonsense. As long as you picked up some dirt and moved it, your company was eligible for money. They didn't give a shit. If you just dug a hole and you filled it back in, you were able to get money. It's another way to launder money and keep their system going.
What was the guy on CNN who's the black guy that cries a lot? Oh, my God.
Don Lennon?
No. Nice-looking, handsome guy, shaved head. He was in the solar energy business, and he had a solar energy green company that went bankrupt after 3 years of 370 or 380 million, whatever the numbers, over $300 million. They opened up
subsidies.
They opened up an energy company.
Yeah.
I don't know how much energy they produced out of it.
Yeah, but he got all the subsidies.
He got all the money for $300 million to open a company.
Right.
To open a company. So if I open a company, you give me $300 million, and in a year from now or less, it goes bankrupt because we can't get anybody to buy our product, I still took $300 million. Yeah.
So it's there wasn't even any product developed yet because they didn't even build any infrastructure.
Right.
Again, it's all cleaning money.
Yeah. Oh, no, how about this? I built a factory. My brother built it.
Yeah.
Well, my nephew built it. And I ordered plumbing from the plumber. It was my cousin's plumbing. Well, if not my cousin, I got backdoor paid for the. Yep. And this has been going on. Listen, every administration has done it.
It's a uniparty.
But it was egregious.
Yes.
It was just been egregious, and it just kept getting worse. And now Musk comes along and shows you. This is the frustrating part that people need to understand this. You can't spend that kind of money and not kick back. And who's worth $83 million? Ilhan Omar.
Oh, yeah.
$83 million.
For what?
She's had a job for 8 years.
Oh, wait, she's worth $83 million?
$83 million.
Omar?
Omar,
the one who married her brother?
Listen.
I hope Bondi looks into that and does,
I didn't open up her books. I'm just telling you what I've read.
Right.
She's worth $83 million, and Blumenthal, $70 million, which I find a little odd to hear because I think Blumenthal's been around a bit longer than her.
Yeah.
But she must be really getting jacked up from whatever organizations. I can't.
Palestine, all that money.
Yeah. So
she's tied into that.
Yeah, she's tied into all that. So yep. I don't know. Elizabeth Warren, $90-something million.
Yeah, she's up there. 70 million, maybe. I think.
Yeah, no. But the numbers today. I'm only talking about the numbers I saw today. And by the way, I'm only repeating what I've seen, even if half of it's true.
Yeah, how do you get that on a $200,000 a year job?
Yeah, and maintain 2 residences.
Yeah.
Most of them have to.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders, another one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
He's such a fraud.
Yeah, he runs away.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just
Not $1.
Listen, listen, and I'm not
$1 from not $1 from the pharmacy went to my campaign.
Yeah.
Not $1.
every one of their workers, though.
Yeah.
Every one of their workers.
Yeah, that were mandated and their
Yes.
unions.
You want your job?
Millions.
Yeah.
Millions.
So I guess
I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Martina White. Friends of Martina White can visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina's been doing as a state representative in Pennsylvania. And let me tell you, Mike, she's a big supporter of police. She backs the blue. She's a proven fighter for families, women, everybody.
Is she a patriot? Is she America first?
Absolutely. She encompasses, the American spirit for sure. We have a big population of listeners in Northeast Philadelphia, Southeast Pennsylvania, which would be her area. So you can check her out.
Has
Vote
she
Martina.
been in? I'm not familiar with the Philly district. Is she new to the scene, or is she looking for re-election?
She'll be up for re-election in a couple years, but she's been around for a while. She has a proven track record.
Okay.
You can check her out. Her record really speaks for itself, especially when it comes to fighting for everyday citizens and backing the blue.
It's nice to have someone back in the blue. I mean, these officers are out there risking their lives every day, and with little pay and little appreciation in today's environment, it's been very difficult. And as you know, being a Philadelphia guy,
Unfortunately, that's something that's not common. Should be. It used to be a time where both sides of the aisle agreed on law enforcement, and that's something that's completely lacking. But with Martina White, she steps up to the plate, always has our backs, and does what's right.
great. Good luck with Martina.
Yeah, you can get more information at votemartina.com. I'd like to thank our title sponsor of the show, Adams Renzi Law, AR Law. They can be found at arjusticenow.com. And just to let you know, I know both of them personally. Christy, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, total sweetheart, absolute pit bull in the courtroom. And Nick Renzi, he's a South Philadelphia guy, true and true, neighborhood man. He's for the people. He helps people out down in South Philly, all around Philadelphia.
Their office is in South Philly itself?
Yes, their office is in right around South Philly, Center City, right on the border.
Do they handle
there.
a lot of criminal cases?
They handle everything, absolutely.
Are they on call 24/7 for someone who might take a pinch somewhere?
Why, you might be taking
Well,
a pinch
I mean, you never know. I mean, wherever you show up, you got to be ready.
Well, you can keep their card on you.
Well,
Go to their
well,
website and
good,
call them up.
Will they give me a deal since they're sponsors of the show?
You might get a percentage off. I'll have to talk to her.
Okay. Yeah.
If you used them a few years ago, you might have not have gotten 14 years.
Well, that's another story.
Another story for another time.
That's right.
Again, AR Law, check them out. arjusticenow.com. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond.0. In today's world, your business is practically invisible if you're not online. With so many options for marketing your business, it's easy to get confused. That's where Beyond.0 Creative steps in. They have the expertise to help you with all of your marketing needs. Need a website that wows visitors? They'll build it. Want to reach more customers with Google Ads? They'll make it happen. They'll even manage your social media so you can focus on what you do best. Beyond.0 Creative is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and Google Premier Partner. They're the real deal. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com. That's BIONDOCREATIVE.com or call 267-362-WEB1, Web 1, to discuss your project now. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet, military first responder discount. Tommy, we had him as a guest on a podcast. You can get your flooring done by a real American hero.
Yeah, and he's on time and on budget.
Yes, he is. He will beat any price. Bring a quote, an estimate, whatever you have. Tommy will beat it, 100% guaranteed. You have our backing on that one.
And he'll be there himself.
Absolutely. You can get a real American hero do your flooring for you.
I guess the frustration part is, and it's, by the way, I'm not going to name off Republicans other than McConnell.
Yeah, McConnell.
McConnell's
Another
worth
one.
$100 million type, value they have. But you dedicate your life to civil service like you did and I sort of did. You're not going to be.
Doesn't it make you angry though? You went to jail for 12 years for what you're doing.
Make me angry.
Small potatoes. These guys are raking in the big score.
and
right in front of your face.
The word is impunity.
Yeah, in front of your face. And they're laughing about it.
Yeah.
They're going on TV right now saying, they got to stop. There's still constitutional crisis is the new buzzword.
Yeah, constitutional
So when you hear
crisis.
that, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? That's the new buzzword, constitutional crisis, which they're creating, through their malfeasance.
Yeah, it's a constitutional crisis.
Yeah, it is on their part.
On their part, yeah.
Again, once again, the left will always tell you what they're doing. They're accusing Dodge and Elon Musk of trying to steal your Social Security payments, get your Social Security numbers. They're stealing. They tell you every time, whatever they accuse the right of, it's what they're doing. Once again.
What's really exciting is that So I'm going to pose this question. We know that this money that they're giving away, it's all grift, right? A grift. What do they call it?
It's a grift. Yeah, they're all grifters.
So everyone's stealing it. But what are they doing with it? I don't know. So let's just play devil's advocate. What if they were employing hundreds of people with that money they're stealing? And by that I mean, so let's make believe it's Lindsey Graham, because I'm not a big
another one.
I'm not a big fan of him either. All right, let's make believe it's Lindsey Graham, and he's worth $120 million. All right, let's just say, but all the money he's been stealing, he's been employing. I don't know. Housemaids. I don't know what this.
It's not enough to justify.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
none of them do.
What I'm getting at is, if he can justify that all of this grift or graft or whatever they want to call it has been helping the society, then I would say, you know what? Maybe we need to take a different look at it. I'm just posing that. The question.
We discussed that before. The CIA, because of certain laws, couldn't fund terrorists that, in certain regions, held our best interests. So we want to give them money. They couldn't, so they funneled it through USAID, through phony programs. Some of these, like maybe the condom thing, might be that. The majority of them is theft, is malfeasance. So there are some that you need to break down, and there's some things that you need to look at and keep doing. But what they're exposing is absolutely criminal. You're seeing a whole syndicate being brought down. And if we had a media that was just
curious.
Yeah, just curious. Yeah, every time a Republican's on there, it's an absolute bloodbath, a battle.
Yeah.
They're just battling each other. And the Republicans trying to explain it. This is what we found. And they're just the reporters on the attack, like salivating. Well, you did this. Well, what do you say that? What do you say about it? So, well, why aren't you that curious about why was this stolen?
Rather than asking the question like, what was that?
Where
did it go? And who spent the money on?
Impartial, right?
Yeah.
We don't have it. And this is why Trump was elected in pretty much a landslide. The people have seen this. They know the media doesn't exist. It's at all. The legacy media is at all-time low. It's podcasts like this that are getting out information.
So what's all this noise that we keep seeing pop up? What's it? Who's stirring it? There's a lot of noise right now, right? You got every time I put on the TV, other than Fox, which it can go either way. If you put on CNN, which I don't really watch, but I like to see the other side sometimes.
I don't.
I
see enough of them.
No, I like to see the headlines from them. And I read the disaster, constitutional crisis. How would you know it? Because they're saying it, right? MSNBC, they're fawning over, but they're not asking the questions.
So Trump's up with 18 to 29-year-olds. I believe his approval rating is like 55% or 59%. Like 40 to 55, it's like 55%. It's the people 65 and over.
I'm 64.
That he's under. It's because they're still attached to the legacy media and they believe the bullshit that CNN puts up. But the under 60, and it's a very big problem for the Democratic Party to have 18-year-olds aligning with Republican values.
That's scary for them. Yes.
Yeah. And listen, these college kids, these 18-year-olds have been browbeaten into all this nonsense and that masculinity is not good, and they look at the Democratic Party as a bunch of pussies. That's their view.
Yeah.
And that's what they created, and it's bad for the Democratic Party. And, we had this discussion. We might see a reign of conservatism and Republicans for the next 16 years. Yeah. Eventually, soft. Whatever parties
people go soft.
They'll get soft, and a generation will forget, and it'll swing back the other way. But hopefully, in these years, 8 to 16 years, hopefully, because we need to save this country, they'll undo all the unjust, and this system of malfeasance and criminality will be dismantled, and we'll have a republic back again, in working order.
Yeah, you know what?
It can't exist anymore.
I'm just going to say this for the show. It's exhausting to try to keep up.
You can't keep up.
Try
with
to keep up with all this shit, bro.
They had this is 2%. We're at all this corruption, and it's only been about 2%.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Yeah,
Think about that.
Yeah, and they're saying, and this is to hit to their credit, and to even let's say Trump's credit, or to the credit of the woke. The new woke, we're awake now. You know, the people today are saying that we can basically balance the budget the next year or so.
Yeah.
Can you
and actually get to a point where we'll
start to reduce
the deficit.
our debt?
So I'm 46. I'm old enough to remember when they started making billions, an everyday word to get comfortable with. But that was like our debt's at billions of dollars. Oh my God, what are we going to do?
Right.
We're approaching. I remember the '80s, approaching $1 trillion. We're in the billions. Billions was the buzzword.
Right.
Now it's trillions.
Yeah.
And we're approaching like 34 trillion. Every 100 days, $1 trillion.
I think it's 36 trillion, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, every 100 days, $1 trillion gets added to our deficit. We can't keep going this way.
No,
it's wild. And wait till you see. So Pete Hegseth, our buddy, we got interviewed by Pete.
Yeah.
He's the Department of Defense.
Secretary of
Defense.
Right.
He invited Dodge in to look at the books. So now we're going to see some massive corruption being unfolded. I believe they just got into the IRS.
Yes.
I hope they dismantle the IRS.
Yeah. You know, look, here's how I saw that. They're going into the IRS. They just took 80,000 people and removed them from duty, from what I heard. I don't know if that actually...
They took the 80,000 took the buyout that Trump offered. They offered a buyout.
No, that's not what I heard.
Yeah.
No.
So it's 80,000.
No, that's not the same thing.
It's a different one? Okay, so 75,000.
80,000 IRS agents that were hired.
They
moved them to the border.
Gotcha. Yes. You're right. Okay.
So my point is, if you could swipe that way from the IRS, what's really going on in that place?
So what I was saying is he gave a buyout to employees that didn't want to return to work. You can retire now.
Yes.
And you'll have 8 months of pay.
Right.
And then that's it.
You're
on your own.
You're on your own.
And about 75, it's up to 75 or 80,000 took it. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, yes.
No, but you're right. He took that 85,000 new IRS agents.
Just move them to the border.
Move them to the border.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know how they fund that now. Do they fund that out of the IRS?
I think they're quitting. They're not going. Those IRS agents aren't going, dude. They quit. That's what that was. Come on, they agreed to break into people's homes and wear guns and make arrests when they took the job. Oh, yeah.
So people are breaking into our home, the border.
Yep. And they're stealing our money. So there you go. Go IRS. Go after them. So Trump just defunded schools that still mandate the COVID vaccine through the Department of Education. So
beautiful.
He is dismantling the Department of Education, which needed to be... People are like, oh, my God, our kids. It doesn't teach. It has nothing to do with anything bad with your kids in school comes from the Department of Education.
That's right.
You got to give it back to the states.
That's right.
Give it back to the local people.
Who want to raise their kids the way they want.
Yeah, in their area, their local area. You shouldn't tell somebody who's a farm boy a curriculum for a city kid. It's two different. It's two different areas.
Yeah, they need to learn about crops. And
Exactly.
I'm not being
the
insensitive.
Norms needs to be added on into your
curriculum,
into your education, your curriculum.
Yeah,
and that's done through the state and local level, not through the Department of Education.
Yeah. What do you teach them about crops? Well, we raise crops.
Well, you don't need to fucking teach kids in the city the crop cycles.
Yeah.
Although you should.
I mean, it's nice information.
Going on.
Informational. Yes, but it's not their focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a Christian community, they're going to have Christian values implemented. If you're in a Muslim community, Allah can be implemented. Whatever you want to do. Yeah. But of course, I'm not talking about separation of
I know what you mean.
Church and state. But the values, whatever the values are, they can be brought in infused through the locality. But when you rule from here, you don't know what the guy in Georgia needs, or the guy in Tennessee, or the guy in Iowa. You don't know what they need in their educational department.
It's all a money funnel of corruption. That's all it is. Department of Education's turned into corruption. It's all their liberal friends are getting paid in these NGOs and their little programs. $33 million for DEI initiative, the Department of Education. Like, come on, man. we're tired of it. The country spoke. We're done with the DEI. We're done with all the nonsense.
Yeah, and what about these? Just a quick touch, because first of all, this is a topic you can just keep right in the rabbit hole. What about the these localities / states that are refusing with the they're not going to comply with ICE. They're not going to comply with men and women in the same sports. How does that exist and continue to propagate?
They're going to get civilly sued, and then I believe criminal will come.
Okay, because I want the criminals.
Yeah, that's right. I want
because you're openly denying it. You're out flouting the law. Flouting, I think, is the word.
Yeah.
You're flouting the law.
No, I can't. I know what you're trying to say.
Is it an English word I'm missing?
Yeah, there's something.
I think it's flouting.
There's a vowel you're missing in there somewhere. Anyway,
flaunting.
But
no, it's not flaunting. I think it's not flaunting. It is flaunting, but I think it's more flouting too.
It's flaunting.
Is there flout and flaunt?
Flaunting, right? It's flaunting. Yeah. It's flaunting. You're flaunting.
I know that part. I'm looking for the more extreme, which is flouting.
How about you're going?
Well, I'm Brooklyn, so I can say what I want and just say it 3 times.
Okay,
like Trump.
That's it. Okay,
like Trump, he says it 3 times, and I'm right.
COVID, right?
Yes. Listen, there's so much to talk about, but that issue, real quick, and I'll give you a chance on that, with the people not following the new mandates. Let's say.
Right. Well, again,
illegal aliens.
Yeah. So. The Trump organization, they're adults, and they're going to do things legally. And how the Republican Party always has been, the left has been at war, and we're just going to do it, the proper way, the way it's always been with etiquette. And we've been getting our asses kicked. And finally, Trump is taking the gloves off. He's fighting back legally, though. So he's not just going to jump right to the criminal, which he should,
right?
The way they did it. And he's
right.
They set the president, and he could definitely do it. But they're going to sue first, civilly, and they'll impose mandates and take funding away.
He's playing chess. He's playing chess. They're playing checkers.
Yeah, and they'll give in.
Listen,
they're not going to want to lose their freedom.
Well, I hope they
can make their stand and look good for their constituents and say, I stood up to Trump, but they'll end up backing down. Maybe one of these two of these will be such an ideologue that they'll stick to it and actually get put in handcuffs, which I'd like to see.
So they get to lock up January 6th, guys. And I heard a guy this morning, he said, I was 2 miles back when they broke the windows at the Capitol. 2 miles back. He said, by the time I hit the steps of the Capitol, all the barricades were removed, and I didn't know what was going on. He said, I just walked into the Capitol under direction of the cops. He said, and then a couple months later, they locked me up. He said he spent over 1,100 days in prison being waved in by the cops.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about.
That burns my ass.
Yeah, and people don't talk about that. The violence against cops. I'm a cop. I was a cop. I don't want violence against cops. Most of those people didn't do a damn thing. A lot, the ones that attack cops should be arrested and locked up. The ones like this gentleman, and there's hundreds of them that were just waved in.
Thousands of those guys.
And they were arrested, and they're all political prisoners. It's disgusting, and that's why Cheney and people,
Kissinger.
Yep, they're all pardoned.
Kinzinger, whatever the fuck his name is.
Scumbag. Yeah, they were all pardoned.
Frying little bitch.
Because they broke the law.
I hate that guy.
Yep.
I'm a vet. You're a vet. This.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't act like one.
He's a coward.
He's a coward.
Yep.
Excuse my language, dear Lord. Forgive me.
Well, I think that wraps us up.
I'm just getting down. I'm getting down in the the rabbit hole.
There's a lot to talk about. We'll be touching this a lot over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Please go to goodcopbadcoppodcast.com. Check out our sponsors. Call them up. Say hi. Please check them out and go to their websites. Patronize them. It helps us out. Go to our socials. You can check us out on there, both Mike and I, or the Good Cop, Bad Cop social pages. And you can also hire us for speaking engagements. You can get some cool gear on the website.
Yeah.
Most importantly, you can get to our channels, YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
Hit the subscribe button, goddammit. Let's
go. Subscribe, leave a comment, give us 5 stars. It helps us out. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by AR Law, PA State Rep Martina White, Biondo Creative, Morrow Flooring, and Pops McCann Whiskey.